insight into behind the scenes. But tell us a little bit about who you play, first of all, and also why you wanted to tell this story.
I play a man called Eddie, who's just a normal father. He's a hard-working man. He's got his own business. He's a grafter, and he's raising his family, doing the best that he can. And then suddenly his whole world is rocked by something that his son is accused of. And the idea kind of came, I think it's over maybe the past 10 years or whatever, there's a kind of an epidemic of knife crime amongst young lads, and that's up and down the country. And I think what it was for me was there was just this there were certain incidents that really stuck out where young boys, and they are young boys, they're not men, their brains aren't fully formed yet, they're young boys, hence the title. We're killing young girls. And when I mentioned to Phil the possibility of it, it just really hit my heart. Do you know what I mean? I just thought, why? What's going on? What's happening? Why is this the case? What's going on with our society as a whole, as a collective? And without being disrespectful, look, when these things are on the news, we're a couple of kids from council estates, do you know what I mean? But when these things are on the news, your judgment instantly goes, well, you blame the family, you blame the mum and dad, we're all guilty of it. And I just thought, but what if that's not the case? Because that's the easy common denominator. So I just thought, what if that's not the case at all? And that was it, basically.
What's the clever thing is, the 4 parts of each part is kind of a slightly different perspective and element and kind of, telling of the story in a way. And, you guys work together on Boiling Point, this wonderful, unique and immersive way that you tell the story that you brought to this production. How hard is it to do something on something like this? But what does it also add to the drama of it?
Well, it's first and foremost, we never ever want it to be at the front and centre. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, look how clever we are, we're doing this one take thing.
Yeah.
It has to be an immersive feeling and and sort of a subconscious feeling that you're taking the audience on a journey, and they can't take their eyes off the screen. We're all guilty of watching stuff up with one eye on our phones and stuff like that. So for something like this, it's so propulsive, and you can't miss a beat. And that's the idea, and it adds to the tension and to the anxiety, which is what I love to do. But yeah, so it's
immersive experience.
But not only that, it's for the actors as well. You get the best performance because they're in it, they're living it, and there's no cuts at all. And so it's like for 1 hour you have to be in character and immersed in it.
Yeah, without sounding. I was going to say wanky then, but now I've said wanky. Pretentious is the other word, isn't it? That's the other way to it, yeah. Without sounding pretentious. The other way is better for what it actually is. Yeah, without sounding pretentious. It's the marriage of both mediums, do you know what I mean? Because, yes, technically it's a play. Without sounding pretentious, it's the most... I've never been so zen, because it's naturalism and we're playing to the camera. And Phil, we spend a whole week rehearsing as actors with Phil, and we go through every beat, through every moment, piece by piece by piece by piece. We dissect the script, which is beautifully written by Jack Thorne. We dissect it, and you immerse yourself into that character from as soon as we say action to as soon as we say cut. And within that, we spend a whole week with the choreography of the camera work that Phil and Matt have already kind of arranged. But when we turn up as actors, we can also put our own influence, and we have to work out how to move around the table and where we're going to go, because it has to be seamless and continuous. And it's just such a wonderful process. But it is the most zen as an actor I've ever been, and the experience in it, you are in that character from the moment we start till the moment we finish.
And you have to be the logistics of it as well. Like, for example, the police station which you saw there, we built that set in a studio. That has to be 3 minutes drive from the house.
Yeah.
Then a 3 minute, and then an 11-minute drive to another location. So it all has to be in the same vicinity, and so. It takes a lot.
And within the context of that, within a lot of planning, exceptionally, you know what I mean? But then you have to also allow that element of spontaneity, and you have to let it breathe and be organic and as real as possible.
Be allowed to react
completely to each other. And then, because there's a moment, I think in episode 4, we're in a van for a good like 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
15 minutes of one shot of the three of us. It's a three shot, isn't it? At the front, as the camera's mounted on the front, and then it's up to us as actors, and you know what we've got within the context of the language, to grab your attention and keep you with us. So hopefully we've managed to achieve that.
But you've got, we've seen you do this kind of thing previously, but with the other cast members, and some familiar faces, some new faces. Ashley Waters is extraordinary. This Erin Doherty,
Yeah.
the scene at the table with her, but young Connor.
Owen.
Sorry, Owen.
Oh,
Yeah.
What an incredible. Where did you find him, and what an ask of
Right.
someone so young?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we made a show about a 13-year-old boy as the lead, and we were thinking, are we going to be able to get a 13-year-old to do what we need them to do? You know what I mean? There's a lot. It's heavy. And so we scoured the Northwest. Shaheen Beg, our amazing casting director, is incredible at finding young talent. And so we had, actors who'd done a few bits and bobs, but also kids who'd never acted before. And Owen was one of those kids. He just self-taped for us. We were like, this kid's got something. He's so like spontaneous and he's listening. Do you know what I mean? He's not thinking about acting. He's not acting. He's just being. And so we put him through his paces. We sort of, I think there was 5 or 6 audition processes, and Stephen did some screen tests with him,
and it was that last phase, in that final phase, because normally, and I think this is a first, and I don't know, I think in my experience, thanks to all of our execs as well that were involved, I think this is a first. Normally you audition for a kid like this, and no disrespect, but they get through the rounds and through the rounds and through the rounds, and then the last 4, we did a workshop with the last. Yeah. We got it down. We narrowed it down to 4 boys, but there was like hundreds.
Oh yeah, hundreds
that we sit that filled scenes. You know what I mean? We got it down to these last 4. But I think what we did is something that's never really been done before. We were conscious not to go, thank you very much and see you later to that. But we knew that we wanted 1 kid, but the other 4 that we'd got down to our final selection, we gave them the opportunity to play other characters within our piece. Because
we didn't audition them again. We just
didn't audition. We just said this is because you can break their little hearts. Do you know what I mean? And that's not what you want to do. You want to make these kids. Yeah, you want to make these kids go, wow, okay with it. And what you're explaining from that very beginning is this is not down to your talent or your ability. It's just that you don't fit this particular thing that we're looking for now. But we would like to offer you another role. And each and every one of the kids were absolutely superb, weren't they? Yeah. All of the kids within our piece are fantastic.
And there's a lot of them in one particular
episode. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
How many kids did you have in episode 2?
About 400, I think.
Jeez, and one shot.
One shot.
Bravo,
yeah.
Bravo.
And then Ashley's phenomenal.
So good.
Yeah.
When with the creation of this concept, and when I was speaking to Jack about the character, and as soon as I said to Phil, it's Ashley, I want Ashley to play the copper, because I've known Ashley for over 20 years, and he's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful man. And he's a beautiful actor, but I don't feel he's ever had the opportunity to truly show what he's capable of. He's amazing in Top Boy, don't get me wrong, and all of those roles that he plays. But again, certain elements of stereotypes are portrayed in that respect, and he smashes them. But within this, I wanted him to show his ability of a police officer. Let's make Ashley the copper, do you know what I mean? Who's in search of finding the truth. And then with respect to Erin, I've worked with Erin, and she's phenomenal.
Oh my God.
She's a tour de force. And within that episode 2 was always what we were looking for, was episode 3, sorry, what we were always looking for was like a David Mamet play. And Jack wrote the most beautiful script. And the 2 of them together are absolutely unbelievable.
On day 1 of the rehearsals on that episode, I said to Erin, because I know how phenomenal she is and what type of actor she is, I said, I'm not going to give you notes. I'm going to give all the notes to Owen, because I know you're going to react to whatever I tell him to do. And that is how it went down, and she just, magnificent.
The only question everybody